I recently saw a comment thread on some other content creators' food page, and they were talking about how farmers markets are for rich people. And I disagree with that. As a non-rich person who has been using farmers markets for all of my entire adult life, I thought it'd be fun to prove those comments wrong. So we are going to go into this farmers market right here with this $20 bill right here and see what we can get. In addition to that, I'm not just doing this one video. No, that would be unlike me. My plan is to actually do one a month. It is the month of April this month. It is the kind of beginning of spring. It's the first beautiful day, the first day I'm wearing sandals, so I thought it'd be a great day to start. But I'm going to show you what eating seasonally using farmers markets can look like every month of the year in a place that has seasons. I'm located in Pennsylvania, so this really is springtime for us. So let's do our first $20 farmers market haul, see what I can make with one $20 bill. And we're not going to forget to bring our farmers market bags. Shout out to Yergi Brewing, Emmaus, Pennsylvania. All right, let's go in. A couple of things to keep in mind as we walk in. First of all, I'm all about accessibility. This is an urban farmers market. I'm in Allentown, Pennsylvania, in case you can't tell Pennsylvania from that art there. This is on a bus line, so it should be accessible to most people. And it is year-round and covered, so you can come here any time of the year. Please note that it is the day before a holiday, so I'm planning for it to be absolutely bonkers busy in here. We'll see how much footage I can get. It's actually not that crowded for the day before Easter. Oh, nice. I have been here for 5 minutes and already my market bag is too small. We'll talk about why in a moment. As you hopefully saw from some of that footage, there are some specials happening right now, and that's because I'm here at the end of the farmers market's week. It is the afternoon on a Saturday. They're not opening until Thursday, so they're giving away produce. This is beans, broccoli, and bananas. I spent $10. I'm going to take it to the car right now, and then we'll be back in and spend the last $10. I did not intend to take the word haul this literally, but look at this. Oof. It is literally a haul. I have hauled it out here. I think we're gonna do some freezer meals with all of this produce. I'll show you what it looks like when we get home, but again, I have $10 more. Let's go back inside. All right, I don't know if you could hear that last bit, but I did go 25 cents over because that last booth there was doing 3 items for $5. Hopefully you could hear him say that. So I have a whole market bag here. Let's go home and see what I got and what I'm gonna do with it. You guys, my car smells so much like bananas right now. I have never wanted a banana this badly. Fortunately, I now have a banana and all of these bananas and all of this food for $20. Let's take a look. And if you thought I wasn't gonna immediately eat a banana, you were wrong. There's no nice way to do this, so. Good. My $20 farmers market haul included 5 large tomatoes, 3 large zucchinis, 6 potatoes, a little bit of bacon ends, I'll talk about those later, some scorpion cheddar that ended up melting off my face, a ton of bananas, including the one I already ate. This is 3 hands plus a few singles, so many green beans, and 6 broccoli crowns, all for $20. This is a ridiculous amount of food. I look ridiculous with this much food. Anyway, let's talk about what I'm gonna do with it. So, when you end up with this much produce, you didn't just go to a farmer's market, you became a farmer. Congratulations. You really have to think about having this much fresh produce, especially when it's pretty ripe. Like for example, these bananas, the reason they smell so good is this one's already kind of open. So we need to use that right away. So we need to think about what we need to use right now, but also what we can save. So I call it the now and later approach to meal planning. So I've thought about it and I'm gonna plan a couple of things for right now. And then a lot of this is either gonna get frozen or pickled. I'm feeling very pickly right now, so I think a lot of this is gonna become pickles. I'm also gonna can some sauce. Other thing to know, canning, again, not just for farmers. It is a way of preserving food for medium-term amounts of time. I'm not a person with like a stockpile of canned goods, but I can save some of this for later so it can be fresh like it is today, but I don't have to eat all of this food this weekend because I can't physically do that. I've changed the awkward angle of the camera so I don't have to squat while I'm talking through what I'm making. But if anyone has a good recommendation for a way to set up a phone camera to do content like this, please put it in the comments because I need that help. Okay, so I started out with a ridiculous amount of broccoli, like a ridiculous amount of broccoli. I think we get, there's a lot of broccoli, there's more than there's broccoli. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a ridiculous amount of broccoli and cheddar soup. This is going to be both now and later. So I'm going to use probably all of this in a really, really big batch of broccoli and cheddar soup and most of the potatoes that I got as my 3 items for $5 haul. So this is one item. I also got the zucchini and the tomatoes all together for $5. So this and the broccoli is going to go in the soup as well as some of my luxury items. Farmers markets aren't just for produce. There was a cheese stand and I got this kind of nice size container of spicy cheddar cheese. They're calling it scorpion cheddar, so I'm thinking it's hot. In the broccoli cheddar soup, it's gonna be spicy broccoli cheddar soup. And you saw me kind of dangling this around. One of the other neat things about farmers markets is that you can buy small amounts of proteins. So these are just bacon ends. I think they're $8 a pound, but I said, can you just give me like a couple scraps of this? This was $2.50. This is actually quite a lot of bacon. It's gonna be the salt and the kind of smokiness in the soup. So all of that, the broccoli, the cheese, most of the potatoes, not all of them, and the bacon is going into a huge batch of broccoli cheddar soup that will feed me this weekend, and I'll also have some freezer meals from it. I still have an obscene amount of beans. And so I'm gonna do 2 things with these. For later, I'm gonna pickle them. Pickled beans are amazing. Again, I told you I was feeling pickly earlier. These are just gonna go in a jar with some pickling solution. I'll show you what that looks like in a short later. And I'll make pickled beans. The other thing I'm gonna do is make a quick stir fry for dinner tonight. I'm adding only a few of my pantry staples to this whole haul. I do have all the vinegars for the pickling. So Aldi brand, hooray. And I think this is from Grocery Outlet. I think this was $1. So I'm gonna be pickling with my pantry items, and then I have this needs to be used block of tofu. So I'm gonna make a bean and tofu stir fry for dinner tonight. There will also be leftovers, and I'll pickle the beans. In addition to that, I have 3 zucchinis. I actually wasn't sure when I took them out of the bag if they were zucchinis or cucumbers, so I cut this one. It is a zucchini. And a ton of tomatoes. I got the tomatoes because I can't resist tomatoes and I can always make sauces out of them or can them. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a very simple roasted zucchini and tomato sauce and just can that. And then the bananas are going to go in the freezer, and I'm gonna make a pretty big batch of banana bread. That's everything. So I'm gonna get tofu and bean stir fry, broccoli cheddar soup, banana bread, a large batch of sauce, and I'll probably have some potatoes left over. I might do a quick zucchini potato fritter for breakfast tomorrow. All of that for 20 bucks. If you want to see what this looks like, I'm gonna do shorts as I prepare this, and those will be in the short section on my YouTube and also on my Facebook page for Mashed Potato Castles. So check it out. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe because again, I'm doing this every month this year, farmers market hauls for 20 bucks. Here's what prep looks like for all this food. First, I have my beans. They're going to get pickled. I've got some salt. I've got some vinegar. I have a jalapeno and some garlic because that's what I have. I also am pressing some tofu for my dinner tonight. It's going to go with the beans and the stir fry. So that's 2 things, pickled green beans and my tofu and bean stir fry. Next, I took one of the zucchinis, one of the potatoes, shredded it up. I'm gonna put that in with an egg and some flour and the bacon. I'll talk about that in a minute. And I'm gonna make some zucchini potato bacon patties for breakfast tomorrow. The rest of the zucchini got sliced up and tomatoes are scored. They're going in a 400-degree oven that's already preheated to roast to become sauce. Coming over here, I decided the banana bread was too hard. So I'm making 3-ingredient oat and banana muffins. They're gonna go in the freezer and there's gonna be great breakfasts. I'm also taking all of these bananas, mashing them and putting them in my soup cubes for future bread or muffins. I then have most of the broccoli chopped here. That's gonna go in with the bacon fat and some broth. And it's gonna cook for a while before I add diced potatoes and the cheese to make a lot of broccoli cheese soup. Any extra that I have, again, in the soup cubes for the freezer. Last bit is the bacon. I'm actually only using the fat in the soup, so I'm rendering the bacon down. And then the actual bacon pieces are going in the zucchini patties. I get that that's a lot, but this should take me about an hour's worth of prep. And again, I spent $20. I'll show you what this all looks like once everything is cooked. Oh, and if you're wondering why only some of the broccoli is chopped and this is not, that's because this is too much broccoli for that pot. So this is going in the fridge. I'll figure out something to do with it later, but it's in pretty good shape and it's a very hearty vegetable, so it's gonna keep for future use. But seriously, look how good this bacon looks. Bacon ends from Farmer's Market, the thing that the butcher counter would throw away. Gorgeous, beautiful, used it in the soup, using it in the fritters, and my favorite part is how close it is right now to my tofu. All right, there you have it. $20 worth of food from my local farmer's market. Let's go through the to eat now and the to eat later items. So we have, as I'm literally eating this now, you can see it's still steaming, some green bean stir fry with some tofu that I need to use up and a couple of noodles. That is 1 potato and 1 zucchini with the bacon I used to flavor the soup. There's the soup. It's cooled, which is why it's thick like that, but this is, I can tell like with my hand how much soup that is. That's gonna go in those soup cubes over there. So this is gonna be a now and later option. Then for the later, I have the pickled beans, and I also made with the tomatoes and the remaining zucchini, tomatoes and zucchini. I think this is probably gonna be a soup base, probably for some minestrone or something of that sort, because all this is the tomatoes, the zucchini roasted, and then there's some red wine vinegar in there. So that'll keep for quite some time. These are frozen mashed bananas, enough to make 3 double batches of banana bread. I made 10, I already ate one, 10 banana oat muffins, so that would technically be like 5 breakfasts, and there's still vegetables left. So what do you think? Is shopping at Farmer's Market expensive? You decide. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.